and welcome to Letty Does Playing Lone Wolf, The Huntress, Marked for Death, Part 5. So, in my last part, I died pretty horribly. If you want to go check that out, you can check in this video's PeerTube description for that link. But, the short of it is, I was murdered by an Elix, a horrible death. So I've updated my action chart here to include one death counter, which just has one. I have added back my whip, my captain's cutlass, and I have reset to episode 88. It says right here, I do still lose 2 EP because I had a crowbar, so that reduced the cost of 4 to 2. And I didn't have these other things. So we are going to be starting here. I wrote death. This is where we are coming from. I haven't rolled yet, so I haven't written that yet. And here's where we are. I reset my combat record here, my endurance, to reflect the 2 EP that I lost from smashing the trap door apart, and we will continue with a fight when it comes to that point. So for now, I need to roll to find out where I need to go. I have already read this page. Okay, I will write this fight in a second when we see what number this gives me. That would be a 5. Okay, let's hold off on that. That's a 5. Let's see. Okay. It's better than we did last time, I believe. So let's set this up. We still need to do the fight. Just going to put a little squiggly here. There is currently no combat ratio. I believe my endurance points are 23. Its endurance points is 38. Okay, so I rolled a 5, which means I need to go to 149. I have read that page before. I lose my wielded weapon still. What if I wasn't holding the whip in one hand? Do I need to Oh well. In my mind's eye, I was holding the damn whip, so I'm going to lose it anyway. Which is, again, very unfortunate. I really wanted the whip. If I die again, maybe I'll get to try a third time to not lose the whip. I will still fight with the sword. And I will flee. Because fighting didn't work out well for me the last time. So I won't do that this time. We will go to 193. I've read that one before. Yes, I have read that one before. Okay, this is going to be very bad. Let's roll. That is an 8. If the Elex has more than 25 endurance, subtract 3. It definitely does. That is a 5. If your total is 5 or higher, go to 89. Have I ever read that? No, I haven't. Okay. Yes. Hopefully that's something good. $89. You reach the open door and see a ladder leading down. With the Elex jaws snapping at your heels, you swing down onto the ladder and pull the trapdoor shut, just managing to slide a deadbolt across it before it shakes with the full weight of the Elex slamming into it. The reverberation is so strong that it sends you falling backwards off the ladder. You land hard on the wooden floor 10 feet below. Lose 2 endurance. If you survive this fall, then you are swift to push yourself to your feet and get your bearings. Turn to 200. Okay. I lost 2 EP, but honestly, that is okay. Let's mark that. So, did I not need to fight this guy? I guess I didn't fight him. So, I will save this slot. Thank goodness my cowardice saved me. I have 21 now. Oh, this is great. Beneath the warehouse is an underground dock set upon a river whose rushing waters make a sound like thunder. So amplified is the noise by the small indoor space. The waters sweep away down several large tunnels. This must be a way for Valeska to quickly leave the warehouse and escape out to the river Tor. The proof of your theory rocks back and forth in the canal. It is a small boat with a lit lantern set in it, which illuminates this entire secret dock. Above it stands Valeska. When he sees you, he draws a dagger and backs away down the dock, still gripping in one hand the rope that holds the boat anchored. "Get away!" he shouts. "Go back to the grave, where you came from, you and your brethren!" Even as Valeska's curse leaves his lips, the shadows behind him roil and a man crawls out on all fours, trailing the shadows like wisps of clothing. The question you had die in your throat as the man stands to his full height, which must be 8 feet tall. He has the appearance of a drowned corpse. His body sags with water weight. His flesh hangs like drapery from his muscles. His face is so bloated that the skin around his eyes has been pressed shut, leaving him blind. From his shoulders hangs his only clothing, a rat-chewed cloak. His grin is a Mannix grin, wide and white, in an upsetting contrast to the rest of his rotten body. The teeth gleam like the fresh teeth of a toddler. Each is oversized, as though blocks of white quartz were embedded in his gums. Valeska spins around, letting loose a scream upon seeing the horrible apparition, naming it in his terror as the Tall Man. He drives his dagger into the horror's belly, puncturing the thick folds of skin. The Tall Man ignores the attack, reaching out for Valeska, an unerring accuracy despite his blindness, closing one long-fingered, wet hand around his throat. In the other is a bloody sickle, which he hooks in Valeska's sternum. When he pulls the weapon back, it splits the smuggler open in a rain of blood. The rope falls from the smuggler's hand, and the boat begins to drift down the river. You do not stop to think. You take a running leap off the dock and land in the boat before it can escape. The monstrosity on the docks turns its fat, folded eyes towards you and smiles, watching you until you drift into the leftmost tunnel and are obscured from view. Turn to 173. And on this page is the artwork. He's awful. Oh man, I couldn't save Valeska? That's terrible. And I didn't get what I was looking for, which is the vessel. Oh no. In the lantern's spotlight, you see old stone walls and ceilings rushing past. You can tell by the way your stomach lurches that you do not go over several significant drops. But thankfully the boat does not capsize. You realize that the canal is not going to empty you into the river Tor like you thought. Instead, it is taking you underneath it via tunnels that must have been dug eons ago. The thought of the entire river sitting above your head fills you with a queasy anxiety. Eventually, the canal slows its pace and spills into a vast subterranean lake. The lake has an odd luminescence to it, the result of millions of tiny glowing krill living in the water. Your momentum carries you across the lake towards a cave entrance lit by a flickering blue light. You take up the oars and steer yourself inside, curious about the source of the light. As you draw closer, a mysterious globe comes into view, affixed at head level on the wall. Pipes run from this globe across the wall and continue down the cave ceiling. You continue to paddle, following the pipes to another globe, and from there to another. All of them are emanating the same pulsing blue light, like flames sputtering in a strong wind. Eventually, the boat bumps up against the bottom of the stone stairs. A rope trails from a hitching post, and you use it to anchor the boat before stepping out, encouraged by finding dry land. You take the lantern with you, mark this on your action chart as a special item. Also, there is a hastily packed sling sack sitting on the boat's floorboards. Here you find a dagger, which you must keep if you have no other weapon, as well as the following backpack items, any of which you may take with you. If you do not have a backpack, you can use the sling sack as a new backpack. A set of exquisite clothes. Subito tincture. Allows user to breathe underwater. A golden rod. An herbal face mask. A face mask stuffed with sweet-smelling herbs. Lantern oil. An empty flask. At the bottom of the sack, you find a box made of gray metal, of a type you cannot identify. It is simple enough in design, crude even, with its only identifying mark being the heart crest carved into its lid. This is the Sindarian vessel. You have no doubt of it. Oddly, you feel as though you have seen it before, even held it before. You are filled with the temptation to open the box, but you find no latch, keyhole, or hinge. Mark the Sindarian vessel as a backpack item. You must discard another in favor of it if you already have the maximum amount of items and may not discard it at any time. Turn to 120. So, let's figure out what we can keep and what we can't. I lost my whip, and I did not get it back, and that is a damn shame. The lantern, I will mark this as a special item. I have weapons already, so I will not take the dagger. I don't know what would have happened to have me lose my entire backpack, but apparently that was an option. We will go Sindarian vessel. That is a backpack item. And I only have room for one more. I feel like since I already have my own backpack, and this is basically me getting a new backpack, I should have been able to unlock this leather satchel portion. I can have one backpack in the front and one backpack in the back. A front pack and a backpack. So I can take one of these. Sabino tincture allows user to breathe underwater. That sounds very useful to me. I don't know what an herbal face mask would be used for. Sweet smelling herbs. Either this is like the thing that doctors do where they put some like peppermint oil in their masks if they need to be in a room with something that doesn't smell all that great. Or Valeska was a very vain man and he had to have his beauty mask. And he wanted to smell good. An empty flask, lantern oil. I do have this lantern. Since it's a special item, I'd like to keep the lantern oil. A golden rod. That's as descriptive as it gets. A rod can be this big, or a rod can be like a staff, or a rod can be maybe a reasonable size. Is this for selling, for unlocking something, or for bashing people with? A set of exquisite clothes. Maybe that would let me get into somewhere. Oh, but I already have like a giant scar on my face and I'm missing an eye. I don't think that would be very helpful to me. I think the Sabino tincture to breathe underwater. How can I write that? Sabito tincture with a T. I don't know if I needed to write breathe underwater also, but I will. Okay. I suppose I don't need that knowledge anymore. That he's under the wheels. I've already found the tall man. We have gained the Sindarian vessel. Sabito tincture. And a lantern. Okay. 120. The steps take you up to a man-made doorway and into a large and wondrous room. It is carved from stone, just like the passage, though the thick rugs that cover the floor make it feel like you have stepped into a noble's home. The room is lit by the same blue lights, illuminating lines of drawers and shelves, cabinets and cupboards. Strange instruments that almost look like navigational tools litter various surfaces. A fine layer of dust covers everything, and you do not believe anyone has been here in some time. At the back of the room is a large, arched opening. You approach and hold your lantern high to reveal an awe-inspiring sight. The chasm beyond is filled with water wheels of the sort you might sea turning in a lazy Summerland stream. Only these are gigantic, 10 times the size of any water wheel you have ever seen, with paddles so grand that you could easily fit 4 men on them. The wheels sit still, and though you notice they glisten wetly, you can see no source of any water that might turn them. You decide to take a small rest here to regather your strength. You do not need to eat a meal, but if you have one and wish to eat it, you can recover 3 endurance. Afterwards, if you are still in need of healing, you can focus on recovering more endurance and reading Valeska's Red Book if you have it. Turn to 187 if you wish to do this. Alternatively, you can spend time searching this strange place. Turn to 160. Oh crap. Am I supposed to have Valeska's Red Book? I don't think so, but I will do a quick little search. Yeah, I need to find that out first. So let me rewind. I don't remember reading that. No, I don't. I needed to double check the text. At least I didn't check 88. I should check 88. Okay, I remember seeing text of mention of a red book. He drops it, I guess, in the route that I took to escape his area. I don't retrieve it. I was just focused on getting out. So, unfortunate. I do not have it. Okay, now let's go back to what this says. I can eat a meal to restore 3 endurance. Let's do that. Okay, and I guess this second part is an either-or situation. If I have Valeska's Red Book, then I can read it and I would heal myself. And if I don't have Valeska's Red Book, I need to go to 160. And I can't heal. I think that's how that works. I hope. I guess there was another way for me to get here, not involving Valeska. And that's why it's asking if I have Valeska's Red Book. but also I don't think I have it, so I hope I am doing this correctly. That would be a little uh-oh. So I need to turn to 160. I will go minus, wait. Something has gone wrong. I know what I did wrong. I wrote this on the wrong spot again. Minus meal plus 3 EP no book. Correct. Too curious to rest. You busy yourself instead with searching the room. As you search, you try to gain some insight into the mind of the person who constructed it. You find various tools for excavation, as well as those used by sailors to mark maps and chart stars, leading to the conclusion that this person must have been someone with a wide range of talents and interests. Of the items you find, the following may be of use to you. Packet of boom powder. This backpack item can be used to make an additional shot with your Boris hand cannon when you run out of shots. May have other uses as well. Concentrated gallows brush. This potion puts the drinker to sleep and must be ingested to have effect. A glow bottle. See recipe list. Necklace of teeth. This necklace, apparently made from human teeth, counts as a special item if you dare to wear it. A bone hilt dagger. Serrated on both edges and viciously sharp. It counts as a weapon, and when wielded deals double damage on any result of 0 on the combat table, but then breaks after this. Also, you find a perfectly serviceable set of alchemist tools and ingredients in the chamber, and can make a single poison potion if you have this, the art of alchemy. After this, you can continue searching by turning to 33, or you can take a little time to rest and restore 3 endurance to your total. If you do this, after adjusting your action chart, turn to 11. Okay. There's a lot going on here. Let's see. So I haven't used my Boris hand cannon yet, but if I take the boom powder, I can make another shot. Ouch. This concentrated gallows brush seems good, but it says it must be ingested to have effect. I'm not sure what that would entail. A glow bottle. Let's check the recipes list for this. A glow bottle emits a bright light comparable to a torch. Does that mean it's gone after one use? Or can I still use it after? Because if I can still use it after, I feel like that's very useful. I did just get a lantern, however, so maybe not as much. I think my lantern is probably going to run out after this. The necklace of teeth is just weird. I'm sorry. I don't know why you would want a necklace of teeth. Maybe they're the tall man's teeth, and this is a good thing? I just don't know how it would be. The bone hilt dagger sounds really good, but any result of 0. Yeah, that's like a one-hit kill, basically, if you get 0. But I'm not that lucky. Oh, what to do? Well, how many can I take? It doesn't say. Does that mean I can take more than one? It only says the following may be of use to you. Do I assume that I can take more than one? Do I take the necklace of teeth? I know it sounds bad. Human teeth, if you dare to wear it. But what if it's like, oh yeah, that person is definitely one of our people. They have a necklace of human teeth. Gosh. I shouldn't, right? Like, that's crazy. Can I get rid of stuff at any point? I need to double check that after this Let's Play. I think I'm going to take the necklace. I can get rid of it. I think. Necklace of human teeth. Well, what if I come across a dentist and he's like, oh, but I'm lacking teeth to make some dentures. And then you're like, well, don't worry, sir. I have your, sir or madam, I have your teeth right here for your denture making needs. And then they thank me and give me money. Necklace of teeth. Okay. I think I can take multiple. I'm going to assume I can take multiple. For the backpack, let's take the packet of boom powder, because I just used up a meal. I guess all I have room for is packet of boom, and hopefully that will be enough to signal me what it is. Maybe I should have taken the glow bottle. Too late. I wrote it down already. Let's take the necklace of teeth. Why not? Why not take the necklace of human teeth? Some artisan has crafted this skillfully into a beautiful necklace of teeth. Who am I to reject their art? Maybe it was donated teeth. We're just assuming that it was ill-gotten teeth. No, no. What if it's their own teeth? I think we will continue searching. Then again, here in my knowledge, he's under Turan, beyond the wheels. Now I have found wheels. These are water wheels. And it says he is beyond the wheels. So is this saying, by turning to 33, I will go beyond the wheels? Or is this saying that by taking the time to rest, he shall return to the wheels? I don't know. Dang it. This is not good. Alright, so I filmed part 5, 6, and 7 of this Let's Play All in One Go, and this clip that you're watching marks the end of part 5. Stay tuned for part 6. That's all I got for you for now. Get out there, do all the stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye!